It's just a few minutes of your time, and it helps everything get better. And here's what it is. When you show up to most college classes the very first day, what does the teacher usually do the first day? Talks about the class. So they usually give you the syllabus. They explain what you're going to be doing, the rules. Usually they don't lecture very much unless it's like a 3-hour class. And so they just kind of introduce the class, right? Then the second time you go, that's usually the start, right? So this is the first lecture. And unless you've had that teacher before, which you probably haven't, this is the first experience you've ever had watching this person teach and listening to them. It's all new to you, right? So here's the little habit. When the first lecture of the semester is over and the teacher says, "I'll see you next week," and everybody starts walking out the door, what I want you to do is not walk out the door, but instead walk up to your teacher and show the teacher something. What are you going to show them? Yeah, your notes. Have you ever shown a teacher your notes before? Most people say, "Are you kidding?" You know, I would never do that because they're sort of embarrassed about them, but this is one of the best things that you can ever do. The reason for that, let me go ahead and start that with you. The reason for that is this. There are a few teachers, who will not react very well to this, but most teachers will really react well. If you walk up after the first lecture, your teacher doesn't really know who you are yet. They're still learning the names. So you would go up to them as they're getting ready to leave the room, and you'd say, you'd introduce yourself, and then you'd say, "I wonder if you could do me a really big favor. I took notes today. I don't have any idea if these notes are good for what I need in this class or not. So could you just take a minute or two and look at the notes and just give me an idea of whether I'm on the right track or whether they're way off?" Okay? Every once in a while a teacher won't help you. But most teachers will be so excited that you actually care that much to ask them to look at your notes that they'll be very happy to. And so here's what will happen. The teacher says, "Oh, sure, that's fine." And so you give them your notes, and they put it on the podium right in front of them. I know that that's a little bit scary for you to stand there watching the teacher evaluate your notes. But here's what will happen sometimes, not very often, but sometimes. The teacher will look at your notes, and then they'll say, "Yeah, these are good. These are good." And you say, "Really? Okay, that's good." And then if that's the case, if that happens, how are you going to take notes every time you go to class after that? Yeah, same way, right? But is that usually going to happen? No. Instead, here's what's going to happen. You give your notes to the teacher. "Yeah, sure, let me look at them." And then while you're standing there, the teacher starts looking through your notes and starts making this sound that only teachers can make. It's like this. And they'll look at you and say, no, these really aren't very good." Now, if they say that to you, I know what you want to say back. You want to look at them and say, "Well, if you just talk slower, then I could," whatever. And this is not time to get into an argument. That's bad. But what you do is this, and a lot of students have taken me up on this and have done it. They said, "Oh, these notes really aren't that good for this class." And they say, "No, they're not. Can you show me an example of where I messed up?" And so here's what the teacher might do.